Former U.S. Ambassador to NATO and former Special Representative for Ukraine, Kurt Volker, joins me. Good evening, sir. And we are now 2 years and a month into this war with Russia invading Ukraine. Who's winning?
Well, right now, nobody is. Russia is determined to keep throwing wave after wave of Russian soldiers to their death in Ukraine in order to show that he is holding the line, taking a city here or there. Ukraine has very successfully defended itself with a lot of Western help. Is relatively safe in Kyiv, Odessa, Lviv, and the fighting is largely confined to the front line now. What we need is something strategic that is going to push this in a different direction. We don't see that yet. Getting Ukraine some of the longer range equipment that has been asking for would be very helpful. Also, they need a lot more artillery shells and ammunition. And I think they are gradually wearing Russia down.
All right, at some point, if there's sort of a holding on the Eastern Front, as you say, I mean, both sides, at some point somebody escalates it or tries to win. At least it appears to me. Is there, and you've got what President Macron of France is saying. Do you suspect that Putin, at least after he's empowered with this election tomorrow, not that he needs more power, that he's going to escalate?
I think actually he's been escalating in advance of his re-election. He's been, for instance, killing Navalny. They took the city of Avdiivka at extraordinary cost of Russian lives in order just to say that he had a success there. So I think he's been leading up to his election with that. Afterwards, I would not expect really to see a further escalation along those lines because I don't think they have the capabilities right now. I think we're going to see a lot more of the same for the next many months while both sides try to regroup, to rearm, hold what they've got and prepare for something in the future.
Well, I mean, Europe is alarmed. I mean, you've got President Duda, Polish president, was here just the other day in Washington meeting with the president, and you've got Macron making those statements. It seems that Europe is alarmed by this war, and on the other hand, it seems like the American people have moved on, or even concentrating on another serious war in the Middle East. Even the media. I was there twice, and I haven't been there in I think almost 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I was in Ukraine about a week and a half ago, and it actually feels very different right now. The mood is more gloomy, even though the situation feels a bit safer. And that's because of the uncertainty about future Western support, particularly support from the United States. So people feel that. And that is indeed causing Europe to respond. Europe has actually spent more to support Ukraine now in a variety of ways than the U.S. has. And what President Macron is saying is Europe needs to step up even more. They need to do more on the military side. They need to be prepared to think about their own forces if necessary, because I think he has called it right. It is devastating for Europe if Russia succeeds in Ukraine, because they will move on to other parts of the former Russian Empire.
But I assume a lot of American people say, good, Europe is stepping up and doing more than the United States because, it's really hard to convince the American people that this is a direct threat to them, and especially since we also are trying to help Israel.
Right. So I think there are two things the American people should take into account here. One of them is if Putin wins in Ukraine, his next targets will be NATO allies and will be obligated to defend them as part of our NATO treaty obligations. That's the first thing. The second thing is that what we really want is peace. What we really want is no more war in Europe. And the only way we get peace is if Russian forces are defeated in Ukraine. Because if they are not defeated there, he will move on. There will be more war. So if we want to actually get to that point of a peaceful, secure Europe again, we got to give the weapons to Ukraine so they can fight them off. Not American troops. No one's talking about that. But they do need the weaponry and the ammunition to help them hold off the Russians and defeat them.
Ambassador Kurt Volker, thank you, sir.
Thank you.